What's going on YouTube? This is Behold the Storm here. I'm going to come at you with a deck profile for my Namekian Piccolo deck that I've been running for a while. And I absolutely love it. So yeah, no need to really get into Piccolo as far as his abilities and stuff or the mastery. Except that the main focus of the deck is to kind of abuse the mastery to always destroy the top cards of your opponent's life deck by always getting Dragon Balls out and using Namekian Overtime to also destroy. Because anytime it's destroying the top card of their life deck, as opposed to just taking life cards of damage, they can't use Endurance. So you're just constantly just chipping away at their life deck for, 1, 2, 3, 4 cards, whatever. And yeah, and then also getting abusing level 2 as much as you can before you just ramp on up to MPPV. But level 2 is amazing and 4 is also really good. So yeah. So getting started with the deck, we run Dragon Ball 1, or I'm sorry, I'm gonna go backwards. Dragon Ball 7, Dragon Ball 5, Dragon Ball 4, Dragon Ball 3, and Dragon Ball 1. We do not run all of the Dragon Balls simply because it's just there's too many. You just draw them dead a lot and that really sucks. So I tried to minimize to which ones I thought were the best. And I don't run Dragon Ball 2 because I don't like it being used against me. So I don't want to have it out and not have Dragon Ball 1 or run across someone playing blue and they just use blue trick or whatever, they snatch it. I hate it being used against me, so I don't run it. Now I can manipulate the deck into ways which I can snatch my opponent's Dragon Ball 2 and use it against them, but I don't want it used against me. Or I don't want mine snatched and then used against me, basically. But 7 is, all of these are basically the bread and butter. Dragon Ball 4 to destroy setups or drills. And then just all of these other ones. And of course 1 so they won't get snatched. This one's amazing. And yeah, so I only run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. And that seems to be running perfectly for me. Okay, and now on to setups. I run only 1 Visiting the Past. I just don't find 2 necessary, to be honest with you. I run 1 Dragon Radar, and then I run Namekian Dragon Clan, which is basically, it's exactly like Dragon Radar. So I run 2 Dragon Radars on my deck, which is amazing. And then if I'm level 4, I get to search for 2 Dragon Balls, which is awesome. I run 1 Namekian Wish, which is fantastic because it just ends combat, and then you get to rejuvenate. And then I only run 1 Namekian Fusion. I was running 2, but I opted to cut it for the other, my other Dragon Radar, my Dragon Clan. And it has been working amazing. So I just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and just 1 of each on these. And yeah, so that's that. Next up, on the events, I run a lot of events. This deck's kind of heavy on events, which is fine. But I run Time is a Warrior's Tool, 3 Confrontation, 3 Weighted Clothing. These are pretty much staples as far as when you're running Piccolo. Confrontations are staples in any hero deck, but the Weighted Clothings are staples in Piccolo, although they're great when you have it at the right time in your hand, like when your opponent enters on you. But a lot of times I will draw these for combat when my opponent enters, and then you can't use the first effect or whatever, or the power. But it's so great to be taking life cards of damage and then hit 1, 2, or so. I've hit all 3 of these as damage in one combat one time, and then just banish, gain 2, banish, gain 2. I mean, it's just fantastic. So it's so good in that respect that I thought about taking 1 out, but I'm not going to. Now, like I said, you can draw it at the wrong time and it just can kind of screw you, but its other effect is so good it kind of outweighs that. So yeah. Then I run 3 Namekian Overtime, staple at 3. I run 3 Regeneration, and I feel that it's a staple at 3 because you can take so much damage from hits and then just boom, rejuvenate 4. And then I always try to manipulate it where I'm rejuvenating a knee block or something else to gain an additional anger, or just getting that Time as a Warrior's Tool back in, or get just anything else I need just back into the deck so I can use it. Yeah, and it's always really fun to rejuvenate confrontation a bunch of times and use it like 6 times in the same match. So yeah, these, in my opinion, both of these are staples. And this one is also a staple at 3, Namekian Hybrid Defense. And I wish it was not an event, I wish it was a combat, because, now granted it can stop both, but I feel like this deck can greatly be crippled whenever set 2 comes out by Vegeta, because he says events can't be used. So yeah, that's really gonna hurt, so I may have to change the deck accordingly once that happens. But anyways, there's that. And now I'm gonna move on to the energy combats. I feel like Enraged Blast is a staple at 3 in this deck because it's an instant to anger. This deck, its main win condition is in PPV, so it is nice to chip away at your opponent's life deck with the Dragon Balls and do all that really fun stuff. That just kind of cripples your opponent, but the main way to win in this deck is in PPV. So 3 Enraged Blast I feel is a staple, although the 3 stages to pay for it is a very hefty cost. This is a staple at 3, Namekian Onslaught. I run 1 Palm Shot, 1 Maximum Will, and 1 Double Strike. This is just to have options. I don't like that the Palm Shots has to hit to do all that crazy stuff, but it does do crazy stuff once it hits, and it only costs a stage. And I don't like that Maximum Will costs 2 stages, but it is nice to get to say if I need to rejuvenate, I can just destroy the top 2 to lower my opponent to, and then I have 2 cards to rejuvenate, which is always nice. I have used this, you know, turn 1 going first, which was nice, and then use Piccolo's, you know, level 1 ability just to rejuvenate and gain. And then this one's also good if you have the Dragon Ball, you can shuffle it and then use a critical, which is nice. But I feel like they're just kind of one-ups at this point. Then I run staple at 3, Energy Guard, and then Namekian Stance. And these are both staples, as far as I'm concerned. Your opponent has to deal +2 to crit you once you use this, and then you get to shuffle the top and the bottom cards of your discard pile back in your life deck. So yeah, just fantastic. Good old blocks. Okay, next on to physical combats. And this is a staple at 3, Devastating Blow. You gain the anger, they lose 2, and then you banish 3 from their discard pile, which is fantastic. Always good for getting rid of Ginyu allies. 3 Namekian Right Throw. This card wins you games. It just swings the game back in your favor. It ends games. It is just fantastic. It's an instant 3 anger when you get to shuffle the Dragon Ball. It is fantastic. And it has an endurance of 2, which can also save your ass. So yeah, and this is also stable at 3. Namekian Crushing Slam. It's just a physical, and then you get to shuffle the top 2 from your discard pile back into your life deck, which is anger, which is basically the main way to win. And then I run 2 Namekian Sidekick. It does AT plus 2 life cards, which is fantastic. You don't pay stages for it, and it does 2 life cards automatically. And then you lower your opponent's anger 2, but also if it hits, so it's basically, it's a devastating blow because you lower your opponent's anger 2, but then if it hits, you get to draw the top card of your discard pile, which is fantastic. Then I run 3 knee blocks, which is great. I don't ever use it for the endurance unless I'm just in a really, really bad situation. Because you always want it in your discard pile to rejuvenate to gain the additional anger, because it gives you 1 for rejuvenating it. Then I run 3 forceful blocks. It's just an amazing physical block. You gain 5 stages and rejuvenate, which is fantastic. And then I run 2 Namekian Flinch for the final cards of the deck. This is great. This card is great. It gets rid of a Dragon Ball on the field, which is fantastic. Just get rid of one of your opponents. And then if you're a level 3 or higher, then you search your life deck for a Dragon Ball and play. This can also end games, and it can just surprise the crap out of your opponent because they don't see it coming. But yeah, and that was my Namekian Piccolo deck profile. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, anything you want to talk about, just hit me up in the comments below and I'll respond. Thanks.